Hello. Happy Friday. Except for it's not. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Oh, can you tell what I've been sitting here thinking about? Friday. But yes, it's definitely not. We're at Wednesday, and we know that because we are here for our midweek momentum. Hello, all of the ladies in the Women Redefining Midlife. How are you at this halfway mark of the week? Did you too think it was Friday? Oh, goodness gracious. All right. It is not, and it is time for me to get focused. Oh dear. Well, it's another week. And it's actually been 2 weeks since I've last spoken with you all in a live or a session. So hello. It's been a very long 2 weeks. It feels very strange to not have spoken to you for so long. Let me know in the comments. Hello, say hi. Let me know you're here. Let me know how your week is going. Is there an emoji that sums up your week? There's no Friday emoji. I've checked that before. But is there some sort of feeling that you are having right now that you're happy to share with us? Please let me know. Oh, so I stopped laughing at myself. All right. It's time to let me know whether you are here. Time to say hi. Hello, Wendy in the UK. You must have not long woken up and you've got sunshine. I'm so pleased for you. It's like we're doing the opposite because here in Brisbane, it's getting dark, right? We're getting, it's autumn now. It's getting dark at 5:30 in the afternoon here. And I am needing a bit of a selfie light. So it's definitely changed. And there's some rain out there. So surprise, surprise, Brisbane is expecting more rain. How perfect is that? Hello, Pam. Nice to have you here. It's been a few weeks. I have missed your smiley face. I hope the startup of the business is going well. We're definitely overdue for a catch up on that. Crystal. Oh dear, I'm not sure. Are you feeling a little exhausted? Is that what's going on there? Because if you are, I get it, and I'm right there with you. We've got Buena. Hello, lovely lady. All right, let's kick into it. Don't forget, ladies, if you do come back and watch this as a replay, give me a hashtag replay so we can continue the conversation because today is a super duper special one. Yeah, Crystal is tired. Yeah. It's that midweek feel, right? It's the midweek feel. But yeah, we've got a super special one. And I know I say that a lot, clearly because I'm pretty passionate about all of the things I talk about. But we've spent a few weeks now talking about some really big topics, and I'm hoping you see how they all flow onto each other. This one that we're going to be talking about today is about the stop shrinking yourself, right? So really, I want to be able to talk to you about how we can own your voice, how you can own your voice and speak up with confidence. All right. So hopefully I can keep this relatively high vibe for you. But as always, this is your opportunity to ask questions as we go, right? You've got the chat open there. You can ask questions as we go. Buena and myself will answer those or support you through them as much as possible. But if there's something that we don't get to today, that's okay, because we've got a week until our next live, right? So this conversation is something that carries through for the whole week. It's kind of a bit of a theme. What can we focus on in terms of not shrinking ourselves, right? That's the idea here. So let's jump in. Let's do a bit of a recap because it's been a couple of weeks. So in our last live, we talked about the reclaiming your time And finally, prioritizing yourself. Now, we all, I noticed in the comments, all kind of felt there was something there that we could all do regarding reclaiming some time for ourselves, taking a little bit more control back, potentially setting some boundaries around that, doing a bit of a time audit. What are we really spending our time doing? And I know some of this felt impactful. I know some of it was really hard hitting for some of us. It was a bit of a wake up call, right? And I did hear back from some women who watched it, which was great. I love the feedback and I love it when you come back to me. And I did, which kind of helped me choose this particular topic. I did get one that stated, I feel like I'm starting to put myself first. I've checked out my calendar and the things that I could do to streamline some other things and some things that I could say no to, but most of all, put myself first. But I'm struggling to say what I really want. Right? And I think we can all fall into that category sometimes. We're doing the things that we think are putting ourselves first, but then we don't actually say what we want. So we're attempting to set boundaries, but we're not necessarily then able to say what it is we really want when potentially we're asked or when we're setting the boundary. So let's start to sort of focus on that. That's how this particular topic's come about. So definitely keep me posted throughout. Make sure that I am giving you tips and tools and that this feels relevant to you. So if it sounds familiar, remember, it's pretty obvious. We've got a group of 100 odd women in here. You're not alone, right? A lot of people are feeling this way. A lot of women are feeling this way. So let's talk about it. I don't know where that came from. All right. Oh, why is it? Why is it that midlife women, smart, clever, creative, caring, loving midlife women struggle to speak up? Why is that? Why do so many of us hold back our voices? Well, I know I've said this before. Number one reason, we were taught to be nice and agreeable. So from childhood, we're seeing examples, and sometimes very gently and not intentionally, but we're being told to be polite, be agreeable, be accommodating, be gentle, don't be too loud, don't rock the boat. Make sure everyone is comfortable. Now, again, that doesn't necessarily mean that these things were said to shrink us, to quieten us down, to make us nice and agreeable. It was sometimes starting off about a culture and about the time, right? It was, like children just sit in the corner and should not be heard, should be seen but not heard. The problem, though, is this has actually taught us to silence ourselves to avoid making others uncomfortable. So don't say what you really think, what you really feel, because we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to be too loud, and we want to make sure everybody is comfortable. Okay, that's one of the reasons why we struggle. The other reason that I see is that we fear judgment or backlash, right? So think about this. Have you ever hesitated to share your opinion because you're worried about being criticized or sounding too much? I was just thinking about how when I use the term too much, that hits for me because I've definitely heard that in the past, that I'm too much. Um, has that ever happened to you? Have you ever hesitated to share your opinion because you're worried about what's going to be said or what are the consequences? Or are you going to be criticized? I know when I was in the being employed workforce, so whether it was when I was managing retail or when I was working in corporate, I was always worried about being too loud, because I'm loud, or saying the wrong thing, saying something that was going to mean I was criticized or performance managed or something that would upset others. I was always worried about that. Women are often judged, and I feel like we're judged more harshly when we speak up. It's becoming less so, thank goodness, but I still see it. So we stay quiet, and even when we have something important to say, we still stay quiet. Yeah, Buano is saying she usually is thinking about what someone else's response is going to be. And so these are just examples of how we're not paying attention to our own feelings. We're just paying attention to what's going on for everybody else. Now, that might still be, there's a time and a place to not be too loud, and to maybe not share your full opinion. However, there's never a time where you should not be aware of your own feelings and thoughts on a topic or around something that's going on. You can then check in, is now the time, or do I want to wait and have maybe more of a one-on-one conversation? But we should always be able to acknowledge how we're feeling or what we're thinking. And that's what scares me the most for a lot of midlife women or Gen Xers, women that are ready. They kind of feel like they're ready to say something, but they're still held back. We're still scared because we're worried about what's going to happen if we do. The other reason that I see that's causing us to sort of shrink ourselves is because we've been people pleasing for such a long time. And for such a long time, we've not realized we're even doing it. This is all quite new, being labeled or even calling yourself a people pleaser, for us having that awareness. And a lot of it is because of the education that we now have and the amazing studies into neuroscience and how our thoughts and our nervous system and all of those sorts of things are connected or impacted by each other. So for a very long time, we've been people pleasers without realizing that's what we're doing. Now, if we could turn back time, thanks, Cher, we would change that. I'm sure if we all had the opportunity to get in a time machine and turn back time, we would be aware that we're acting as people pleaser, that we're putting everybody else first, making everybody else happy. We would stay more in touch with our thoughts and our feelings. And we would make conscious decisions about when we're going to speak up and when we're not. But it would be based on a whole range of knowledge rather than making sure that everybody's okay. So we don't do it on purpose, but we have been doing it. A lot of us have been doing it. And now it's almost like when I'm talking to a woman who potentially is looking for some help, but she doesn't really know what's going on, she then jumps into the, oh, well, I am a people pleaser. Like it's an excuse, it's a justification. It's okay. I can put everybody else first because I am a people pleaser. So got that level of awareness, but then doesn't realize it don't have to be a people pleaser. You can still be a nice person though. So we spent all of this time looking after others. We've been doing our absolute best, working so hard at avoiding conflict and going along to get along. And now when we finally want to express our true thoughts, it feels foreign. It's scary. We don't feel confident doing it because we've not ever done it before. So then when, this woman who's on the call with me says, oh yeah, but I don't have the confidence to do that. When I'm confident, I will. It doesn't work that way. Of course, you're not confident doing it. You've never done it before. Never done it before. When a baby learns to crawl or learns to walk, they've never done it before. They're a little bit, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? It's the same thing. And the confidence isn't going to come if you're not doing it. Okay? So the main thing to take away from this that I really, really want you to take away, and I want you to pop in the comments, say this: your voice matters. I want you to type that in the comments right now so I know that you're listening, so I know that you're with me. And the more you say it, the more you will believe it, you will embody it, and it will be true for you. So I want you in the comments right now, ladies, if you're watching this live, I want you to give me a your voice matters. Because your voice does matter, your opinions matter, and your desires are just as important as everybody else's. Okay? For those ladies that have ever stayed silent when you've wanted to speak up, this is absolutely for you. It is time. Yes, yes, ladies, your voice matters. Believe it. It is true. Okay. As you know, I like to kind of run through what the cost is to these topics that we're talking about every week. And the real cost of shrinking yourself is really that you are allowing others to make decisions for you. You are suppressing your true self. So when you get to the stage that you're ready to ask for help from a coach like myself or somebody else, you will come to me and you'll say, I don't know who I am. Well, that's because you've been suppressing your true self to keep others comfortable. And that is costing you knowing who you are. The other real cost of shrinking yourself is the missed opportunities, personally and professionally. The missed opportunities, the missed promotion, the missed pay rise, the missed, doing what it is you really, really want to do, making an impact, leading or training others, sharing your knowledge, supporting and mentoring. Or maybe it's then the opportunities of living where you've always wanted to live, or traveling where you've always wanted to go, spending time with the people that you really want to spend time with. You shrinking yourself is costing you these things. And if you don't speak up for yourself, who will? Because every time you stay silent, you reinforce the belief that your voice doesn't matter. Yes, Wendy? Wendy's saying her voice matters, but will anyone listen? We are listening right now, Wendy. You're in the right place. We'll listen. All right. And on a serious note with that, they won't listen in the beginning because we haven't taught them. We've been people pleasing. So not only are we now practicing to build up our confidence and to teach ourselves, we're teaching the people around us on how to listen to us, or that they should and must listen to us because our voice matters. I think that's one of the costs that we also need to take into account, is that our people around us that we love dearly, we've not really been showing them our true self either, because we haven't been speaking up. So when we do, it's going to take a bit of practice on their behalf to start hearing. Okay. And again, that's not easy, and it's uncomfortable, and it takes longer than we want it to take. I'm not going to lie to you. So let's lift this up a little bit. Let's give you the 3-step process to speak up with confidence, because this is what's going to make the difference. Okay. We've got to start somewhere. Our voice matters. So let's start here. Let's start with step number 1. Own your opinion. So when you know what your opinion is, and that it is your opinion, your thoughts, your ideas, and your desires are just as valid as anybody else's. Stop waiting for permission to express them. So here's the action. Practice owning your opinion by stating it with confidence, even in small ways. This is where standing in front of the mirror is really good. When no one else is home. Or in the shower, you're washing your hair, voice it. And voice it until you can say it with confidence. This is always something that's such a good step to use when perhaps you're thinking about a presentation that you need to do for work, or with a client, or a difficult conversation that you're going to be having with someone, one that feels a little bit uncomfortable. Practice it, practice it, practice it, practice it. Say it, say it, say it until you feel confident. I find the shower a great place for me to do that, because nobody knows I'm talking to myself and I can say it out loud. You find your spot though. Either do it into the mirror, you can do it into the phone, just on a voice message. You don't have to look at yourself if that puts you off. Find a way to practice it. Pace, movement while you're doing it is really good if you can do that. So think about, instead of saying things like, I don't know, whatever you want. So you might be asked where you want to go for dinner. What do you want to watch on the TV? Instead of saying, I don't know, whatever it is that whatever you want, try saying, I would love to do, and name the thing. Start with really small things like that. It's not going to make a huge impact overall, but it's the perfect place to start. Or instead of saying things like, just an idea, but maybe, how we kind of go into maybe we could, and just kind of throw it out there and test it tentatively like that, in case they say something we don't like, or they come back and go, don't be stupid. Try saying something more like, I believe whatever it is, because whatever it is. So I believe ... because ... So you're explaining why. You're not asking for agreements or anything like that. You're just clearly explaining why. That is step number 1, and it's a really great place to start for any situation. Like I said, whether it's professional or personal. The really simple ways to start are about TV, about a TV show, potentially what takeaway or what dinner you want to order, or what sheets you're going to put on the bed. Some people have those conversations. Just start somewhere that's going to be really small. And it's not really going to hurt when you don't get the response you're after. Because remember, they're learning too. They don't know you're about to speak up. So I'd like you to think about a situation this week where you can speak up just once when you would normally hold back. Is there something that comes to mind? Now let's jump into step number 2. So this is really where we want to stop apologizing for having a voice. So have you heard a lot of people, or have you heard someone ever soften their statement with an unnecessary apology? So it might be, sorry, but I just wanted to say, or I could be wrong, but going into an apology, you're apologizing already for having an opinion or a thought or an idea. Just say it. No disclaimer. No disclaimer required. See how the conversation goes and check in with yourself. Do you really need to apologize? Okay. If you catch yourself over the next 24 hours starting to over apologize, take a breath, walk away, have a sip of your cup of tea, whatever it is. Stop yourself. Don't over apologize. It's going to be real hard. All right. Who's up for that challenge? Yeah. That someone is me. Yeah, Buena, I'm sure it is. We're all guilty of this. Remember, no one here is perfect. I've done it all the time as well. I've done it. Okay. Yeah, Wendy, it's hard. It's really hard. But we're here because we want better and we know we deserve it. All right, step number 3, handle pushback without shrinking. All right, now what do I mean by that? I mean, when you start speaking up, not everyone's going to like it. All right, we've already admitted that. We're aware. And deep down, we know that that's okay. We've been told it enough. It's okay. We don't all have to agree. But how to respond when people challenge you, right? Stay calm. Stay calm. Not everyone has to agree with you, and disagreement doesn't mean you're wrong. And it also doesn't mean it's an argument or a really negative outcome is going to happen. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means you both don't agree. That's it. If we take some of the power out of that, it really doesn't feel as scary. Hold your ground. You do not need to over justify or over explain. Just because someone disagrees doesn't mean you have to back down. But this is really going to depend, and I know I'm putting a disclaimer on. Look, see, I'm doing it. But it's really going to depend on what the conversation is about, right? What the opinion is that you're sharing and to who you're sharing that with. Try this. We call it the broken record technique. If someone pushes back, simply just repeat your stance on that opinion, thought, event, whatever it is, confidently, without wavering. Take a breath and hold it. Just wait. Pause, silence. That's it. Now, Mini challenge. If someone dismisses your opinion this week, I want you to try holding your ground instead of backing down. Simply repeat your stance, your opinion. Just pause. Just pause. I suggest you do it mentally as well, so people aren't watching you go, all right. Okay. Now that we've uncovered the why you've been holding back and how to start speaking up, remember we've got to put it into practice. Action is what's actually going to make this different for us. This is what's going to bring about the change. Hello, Louise. Yeah, you check out the replay. No problems at all. I know you've had a busy day. So we're at the challenge component. I want you to think about how you can put this into practice. We don't learn just by you listening to me, okay? And watching me. We've got to actually do the doing. So, what's one area of your life that you need to speak up more? Is there something that comes to mind right now, straight away? Your challenge is to speak up once this week without apologizing. You need to catch yourself. I want you to practice catching yourself when you start to shrink or soften your words. I want you to be able to practice saying what it is that you want to say. If you need to practice with me first, ladies, send me a voice message over Messenger. We're all friends. Send it directly to me. Just send it. Say it, send it, go. I want you to own your voice as part of this challenge. All right? We're aiming for not as much fear, not as much guilt, and we're aiming for no hesitation. I'm giving you all the good challenges, guys. These are the things. This is the thing that I do with my clients. All right? And we get you to go deep and we get you to do the work. So I want you to do this. Now, just as a final reminder, because I can see that as usual, I'm a little bit over time. So I just really want you to know that you were not born to shrink yourself, no matter what you've been told, what you've seen, and what you've learned to do. Your thoughts and ideas are just as valid as anybody else's. And if you think no one is listening, let me tell you, I am. I am. Wendy's going to speak up for the holidays. I want to go. I want to go on not where others. Ah, yes. And what do you mean it's not to Australia, Wendy? That's rude. I think you'd want to come and say hi. Haha, that's all right. It's your holiday. You get to choose where you want to go. I'd love to hear. Send me a message. Would love to hear where you want to go. And if it's not where others want to go, I want you to practice that. Practice it. All right. What is your key takeaway from today's session? Let me know, the ladies that have been here. Put in there what your key takeaway is. Next time you hesitate to speak up, I want you to remember that you are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to take up space in this group. You're allowed to take up space in your office, in your own environment. You're allowed to take up space in this world. You were not born to not take up space. Okay? You've got a very precious thing. Life. You don't have to earn it. You've got it. Now, own it. Okay? Now, as per usual, I always say tag a friend. If you think any of this will be helpful to somebody you know, then let them know about these weekly lives, because I would love, 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 love to see more women in here. Love to be able to help more. And I would love to see you all sharing the information when you know you've got a friend that could probably really do with it. Wendy, you're so right. I could really do with a Wendy cuddle. But that's all right. That's all right. I know you're giving me one really. All right. I want to hear about Wendy's holiday, where she wants to go. You do all have a voice, okay? And your voice matters. All right. Thank you, as usual, for hanging out with me at this time. I appreciate you, and I hope that there has been a key takeaway for you. And I would love to know what that is. It helps me understand what next topic to give you for the next week or in a few weeks' time. I want to know what's important to you. All right, ladies, it's time to head off. It is my dinner time. Thanks for the hugs, Wendy. I love you. Thanks, Darrell, for jumping on quickly. Enjoy the replay. Let me know your thoughts. Louise, let me know your thoughts as you go through. Crystal, what's hit home for you? Because your voice does matter. And Pam, it was great to see you again, even though I can't see you, but I know you're here. So I really appreciate that. Thank you, Boanna, for being with us. All right, everybody, I will speak to you soon.